Andy Craig?
Here.
Maxine?
Here.
And Bill?
Here.
Mike Babbitt?
Here.
Dick Grayson?
Here.
Bonnie Sheridan?
Here. All right. We have a agenda in front of us. Anybody have any things they want to add to this? Under miscellaneous business, do we want to bring up any of the things we were talking about last time, or there's some reason we didn't want to have, like, we talked about the science center?
I figured we just get this stuff out of the way and then, next whole meeting or whatever, this was a pretty quick one, get the thing back out and everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on turning around.
Yeah, we're trying to get this settled out for the contractor and everything, so we can get moving on this.
All that stuff is okay. All right, so that's the agenda we have in front of us.
Second.
Any opposed? All right, we got minutes in front of us from 2 meetings.
Once, or you have to do it separately.
We can do them both at once.
Figure once would be minutes December 14th, 2022, and January 4th, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody have any additions, changes, anything? All right, anybody opposed to approving the minutes as written? Okay, moving on. Visitors. Our master is going to work. Well, the next meeting, we're going to have the regular report, Tony's update report, and then maybe get into some of these other.
Yeah, unless something comes up that's really pressing, we gotta get done, we can put it together, but yeah, just figured the science center stuff was not right this second priority, it's just trying to get this settled out so we can get past 35% and all that.
Okay, so we had some questions last time about things.
And we did, there's a printout here, a small one, that we just got today, from turning in their upgrades to the T's. And these are just rough numbers that we requested them just give us something as an estimate on what it would cost to upgrade them to get the maximum load at those T's. So, I can probably guarantee these aren't going to be less.
They're not going to be less.
The numbers will, the cost will not be less on this little one here. It's not going to be less. Oh,
That's not to exceed number.
So I thought we were keeping a bit of K.
Yeah, they just threw it in. Yeah, they just gave us everything to throw in there. Okay.
So as long as that doesn't get built,
No.
we're okay.
Right, yeah.
That's okay, because it's
Not
not
get
built.
I'm pretty sure they have relatives for that.
Okay, so that's a good place to start. Are we all in favor of still passing on A?
So this, these are substantially different figures than what we looked at last time.
Ballpark?
Yeah, so this is even bigger pilings,
Yeah, this is bigger pilings, along with the floats would be wider.
so we can go up to 120 foot on that one.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because it was 90 and something like that. But yeah. Ask for them to max on that. But they would be comfortable at.
6099. It was 60 IA for 90. Now, this was max vessel size for the length of the TV, 100.
Hey Tommy, I emailed you a forward an email on to you that's got the things we're talking about right now with prices for the T's.
That's based on wind loading or based on length of the dock?
If you put a 100-foot vessel or 120-foot vessel, there's a certain scale that, and just with 4 inch by half-inch wall with tile, plus any dock accessory to accommodate that, plus dock increase in size, that's what it is.
It just seems like I is disproportionately much higher when it just went from a 80-foot, what was it, 90 to 100 or something like that?
Because they have to change the dock.
There's more pieces involved.
Yeah.
More-
Maybe that's a lot wider.
Everything's gotta grow with it. And as a for instance, we talked about these additional slips on J and N or K and N. On the headwalk, the 30-foot or 32-foot slip with no piles, $47,000, $23,500 per. To go to a 40-foot slip with piles, $87,000, doubles to get 8 more feet of slip space. So it's like not linear, you know, the curve is linear, logarithmic. Because they got to change way more than just a thicker, larger pile.
Oh, so those prices also have changed. Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Transformers. Substations. If you flip over this one, the one with the red on the T's, that's the transformer, and suggestions, roger that, they got it, they found a better spot for them, so the graphic on top shows the actual tube scale layout, and down below it shows where they're being positioned, so they're out of everything's way now, protected up against the pile on the dock. Everyone wins with this, and this is like a big cost. Change.
That is good news.
That's why we lose those additional flows that we were talking about last time.
Not necessarily.
Those substations are gonna block the ability, when we were talking about making sure that the dock was designed to have them later, those substations are right where those kind of floats would go.
No, I don't think so, no.
Hold on a second.
They're gonna be pushed in, I understand what you're talking about.
They're not gonna block.
I know what you're saying. They're blocking that area very soon, because there's already gonna be a trace. Hang on that dock. I understand what you're talking about.
What are you saying?
The figures that we could put in without piling.
Oh, right. I like it. I like the way they did that. Colin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the question I have in that picture shows these 50 footers closer. I don't know if the picture looks like, one boat might be able to get out with the other, but is it?
Yeah,
I mean, you can't tie 2 boats in there.
yeah, we could put the right side float in there. We can make it work.
It'd be easier after.
Where are you?
Looking at the 50
My
foot,
boat's on 50 foot.
That's to steel.
Yeah.
Colin, that's steel.
Yeah, right now, let's find out the current one.
Length is the scale.
Yeah, that
With
would,
the-
because
Beam
beam
is an unknown.
Right.
You got 2 narrow boats there.
You put a smaller lanky.
That
Yeah, you can make that a balcony spot.
Yeah, that comes down to that. So lengths are the scale. Who knows?
Well, right now, it is about fair spot, because I don't think I can get it.
We'll just pull one out of there.
Yeah, just have the road in.
It's slate, just with my mouth, that is go.
Don't have anything.
We're gonna have movement in the back.
Yeah, because the width of the, it's not, the width is not technically scale, because like Colin said, boats are all.
Yeah. Gotcha. Copy that.
So, changing the N, fingers without needing the pile, how much did that reduce the cost from what we talked about before? Because last meeting, it was gonna be like $90,000.
To go from 40 footers with pile to 32 no pile,
Yeah,
it's half, roughly half.
So it's like 45.
47
okay.
with no pile. So if, you know, so off the top of my head, roughly, we're looking at 30, 160 grand to upgrade J, I, H, and add two 32-foot slips.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was, how much was that number?
160, 170,000, whatever I just said.
Well, what I see in here, they have 4 optional finger additions, and they're all 32-foot non-pile supported. So that would be, basically instead of doing the pile supported ones for 90, we could do all 4 of those for 90.
Yeah, 160 through 10. That's for two 32-foot slips plus the upgrades on J, I, and H. And then add on 47K.
The upgrades on JINH you're talking about at the end.
T upgrades.
Except K, you're not.
K is okay.
But we're still going to have a T end. It's just going to be 32-foot unsupported.
Right.
Okay.
It's gonna be a fair weather 70-foot slip.
it won't be a 70-foot slip.
Be two bow pickers.
Yeah.
I
You
know
can get a
what
singer
else.
in there.
No,
Or like 138-foot lifters.
it would probably do something pretty small, but yeah.
Which one are we talking about?
And
Okay.
The
We're
70-foot one.
talking, do that all.
well, it's still gonna have an end, it's just not gonna be upgraded, so it could be a fair weather spot for a small stinger that might upgrade.
Okay. Start telling people things on there. And you can get that.
But one thing is not like that.
Right.
And the price for J and I went up considerably for really not much gain in the last drawing. So I guess what I would like to see us pursue is do the upgrade on H, but then let's do J and I like we talked about last meeting. I don't really feel like an extra $38,000 or $34,000 to upgrade I for an extra 10 feet of vessel length is going to really be worth our time. But I do feel like having at least one spot where a boat over 100 foot can tie up is worth our time to try to accomplish.
It's still a G. G
Yeah.
transient. It's still from the top of the party vessels.
Yeah,
With the width,
it's not the, on the end, you can't get too.
Right. You have, there's,
We can totally drink that.
But like we could put like how big's the Biswack landing craft? How long is that one?
98, right?
98.
Now, granted, it's a light 98, it doesn't have a lot of depth.
How long is Schutz's boat? 86. So he could go out on the end by if it was 90 foot.
Or H. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking.
But we still have the copper, we have some boats that don't really belong with that.
Yeah.
Catch a lot of wind on
Right.
these Jeep.
We can fill those ends now.
So was the cost last time, was that, that's still an option, like on I, is those other costs were still?
They're options, yeah.
all wide open.
Yeah, we're wide open on it. It's not, this isn't set. We just, you guys asked about getting the maximum on it to see what it costs. Yeah.
J was. There. Numbers here. What was the cost of upgrading?
20 grand.
And that's to this 80-foot boat, or is that to just?
So reading this.
Let's go from 60 to 70 on J. No, I'm sorry. 60 to 80 on J. Cost 20
Additional
grand.
20 grand.
Yeah.
So it's added to the price we already
Yes.
quoted for the upgrade. It's not 20 grand from the base.
To upgrade J, float upgrade, add install 16-inch by half-inch pipe, upgraded to 16-inch by, or to go to 16-inch by half-inch, it's $20,000. That'll get you 60 feet on J. To go to 80 feet on J, it's going to be 28,000 by 60.
So I think
That sounds.
that's worth it. Yeah, so J's worth it, but maybe I isn't.
Right.
Because we were already getting 90 foot for only 8 grand. And now it's 100 foot for 43 grand. Last meeting it was. Yeah, it was 35 extra $1,000 for just 10 more feet of lane. Versus last meeting we were talking just upgrading the piling, no dock upgrades. So just bumping the piling up one size instead of 2 sizes was 8,700. And that would get us a 90 footer, and I think that's sufficient for that spot.
And then we go real scoop them on H.
Yeah.
And G's still kind of call for stout, so we could.
So that would get us an 80 foot, a 90 foot, and a 120 foot. I think that's pretty sweet. We don't have anything like that right now. Is there enough room between the end of J and Breakwater County for an 80 footer up there?
Yeah, I think there's enough for a problem that they want to turn around probably now.
There's both, too, you know?
It wasn't a 40-foot wide boat.
But a 90 drop, shallow drop, and screw, and it could.
Is that the low tide line right there?
That's minus 10, that line.
Minus 10?
You see that?
Do we ever get one of those?
No,
they got,
it's funny, it's
they look at it like
low tide, right?
Okay, so what's the middle line?
I don't know, something. Just see the minus 10 on that low one.
Is there not water between?
This one's
still on one side. This would be another.
I mean,
No water.
big sheet, right?
Are you gonna come?
No, I see where you're
That's
saying.
not a big one.
Big sheet says.
No, I'm really talking about the cheat.
Now you only got 30 footers out there.
Yeah.
You basically put the 40 footer out there.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna go 80 foot there, you're gonna have 40 foot in each end of that dog.
On J.
Okay,
No, we're not doing that on J.
I thought you were talking about.
First.
Okay, it's stick to 230.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
put that off the table.
No, we were talking about Jay and bringing in an 80 footer and talking about.
I don't understand breakwater way away from there.
Jay, there's a
We
lot
think there's
more.
plenty of
J.
room to do it.
Well, that's I was just asking if there's room or not.
A low tide, a real deep draft boat might have trouble, but most of the time.
But that H,
And you have 2 little basin kind of additions because you got those float openings.
I would really like to see us utilize that H to park a boat like, you know, a big boat, not the Collar Star. Like, I'm talking the Labrador or the Hamatuli or the Northwestern.
Copper Star's pretty shallow drop too with twin screws. You could probably hang on with it.
What?
Oh, just as far as an 80-some foot size boat that's shallow drop and twin screw with the Copper Star would also be able to get into the whether or not they want to is a whole other issue.
Because I've heard from a couple different constituents over the last few years that have bigger boats that don't have a place to tie up in our harbor, kind of, you know, they wanted to see that incorporated when we designed this. And so that's why I've kind of pushed so hard for getting it to be 120 foot is because one of the constituents has a boat that's 120 foot. Wants to bring here, wants to tie it up here, spend money in our community, and doesn't have a place to go.
Does now.
Well, and with G-Flow falling apart, I mean, we've been turning away a lot of big boats over the years. Stay the winter. I don't see. Oh. They looked at the dock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but then, I mean, you're not gonna get, I shouldn't say now. But you're not gonna get the Northwestern to come in, to tie up on the dock for any amount of time. I mean, I talked to those guys, they don't even like when they hear the truck, you know, the ocean dock, it's just, so it'd be better.
Well, plus they're gonna be,
Yeah.
you know, transit.
Like I said, I mean, we can fill those, yes, I understand that they may not be a 120-foot boat, but they're already our long-time customers that really need to get out of G float or something that, you know, they're hanging way the hell off that pier. And then we could put some that belongs into G float that belongs there. We could get another big sander or something. Converter buys a big sander.
So do we need to do a consensus on I, because I agree with Ken, if we can save $30,000 or more to not 10 feet off that road, that's a smart move.
I feel like we'd be better off spending that $30-something thousand on the 2 additional unsupported 32-foot floats. So the total ask would be the same price, but we get 4 additional 32-foot slips plus beefed up. I mean, it wouldn't be the exact same price, but it'd be close. It'd be like,
No. Yeah, and I thought putting those 32s, we talked about it over and over again, we talked about it at some of our other meetings and stuff, but even by doing those 32s, still gain 4 stalls, technically. You also open that entrance up to that inside some, you know.
well, if we did all 4 of them, we'd be an 8 times.
Right. Yeah.
We're losing the option to put in 2 more down the road by putting the substations over there. But I think that'd be fine if we could get these 4 and do the substations as drawn. We could do it.
Yeah, well, they were gonna anyways, because that's where they wanted to save them money, I guess, in wire and everything else. However they do it, I don't know. That's the electrician's deal.
But yeah, for what the trade-off, getting them, and then putting the substations like that, does open up those corners in a good way. That would have been,
Would have been a little tight.
it would have been tight.
And going to an unsupported 32-foot makes it a little less tight too, so.
Right. Okay, so, did we capture all that before we move on the floats? Because I think we're all kind of in consensus there.
Roll K, upgrade H to 120, I remains 90, J upgrade 80.
And
add
the 4 additional
On
unsupported.
yeah, which ones though?
Ones you have drawn here, well, there's more than one.
We've got a bunch.
Okay, so what we're looking at,
KJ, I, or G.
So like all 4.
so there's 4 that are in this one drawing here that,
So KN, JN, IN, and G, roughly GN.
that's a good way to describe that, yeah.
The reason why I support going with all 4 is by reducing to 32-foot unsupported, it cuts the cost in half. We were fine asking for 90,000 additional to do 2 pile supported ones. Well, now we're asking for 90,000 or 95,000 additional to do 4 unsupported ones. I think we gain more bang for our buck out of the 4 unsupported than we would off 2 supported. So that's, I guess, where my thoughts are on that. To get 8 total stalls that we can rent out and recover the money on fairly quickly, so the other one we're only getting 4.
And with a 40-footer, we don't have a lot of 40-footers. We're getting back that money.
Yeah. And I like to tuck it in.
Yep.
It helps that corner even more, because it's why they didn't have stalls.
You can actually put 2 rows on K1 and the J1 and the I float one. Probably can't do it on the other one, but still.
You might be able to
Still
sit.
slide rows.
That's plenty on the little wreck boats or something, right? I'll take 6 rigs, so. whatever we do.
The one thing on this design that I didn't like, which it's almost getting to be a little bit nitpicky, but the end of H where they have that substation, I feel like with just a little bit different spacing. Oh, maybe not.
Stall in there.
Yeah, if they just space those all a little bit differently, you could probably fit a whole other stall in there. You wouldn't have 30-foot width.
Yeah, you'd limit the roads. You'd limit what you put in there. To me, it's fine the way it's drawn.
Yeah, it's just that one is 38 feet wide, and then the other ones are all 30 feet wide. Then the one on the end is only 16 foot wide. I just felt like there, you could have squeezed them one way or the other and got them all evenly spaced, maybe added one extra one.
You got a camera installed. Bigger and wider.
I guess, yeah, no, that one is 24 foot 10, so it's almost 25 feet to the substation. And that dock is 8 feet wide, and then 16 feet on the other side of it. So really, you're looking at like a 40 foot width in between those two. Yeah, I feel like there might have been a better way to optimize that flow spacing on that end dock. Just because it seems like we lost a stall there when we put the substation out the end of H.
I don't know, like mine's 12, what's yours? Mine's 12 wide. Yours is probably close to 12, right, 11 something?
For my Mountbigger, it's,
That'd be pretty squeezy with buoys on your step. You'd be able to walk.
No, I'm fine with the 30 foot spacing. It's the 40 plus foot spacing that I have a problem with on that one. And then there's 16 foot on the other one. I just feel like it can be optimized there. And I don't have the old drawing, but I feel like we lost a finger. And maybe didn't get credit for that. But I don't know for sure. But I feel like when they put those substations, we lost one that was out on the end of H before.
Drawing?
Yeah, I'll remove that, this one right there.
Yeah, you did.
So I mean, yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we got 10.
Yeah, we have 11.
We just lost this one.
Right, we lost some potential.
And we lost some space on this end. See, squeeze it over. So now,
I know exactly what that was.
this drawing is more useful.
Of course.
I don't know, I don't. 7H. These substations, that substation is better before. Oh, they moved this over. They moved this approach. We lost a slip on this end.
That was changed.
Yeah, we moved the approach over. We lost 2 slips over here. I'm not in favor of that.
What do you, oh, they took the substation off the.
This is the one we talked about last week. And down by where your stall is, they moved that gangway closer to where Dan Nichols was.
Move it that way, you can get stuff out there.
And then we ended up losing 2 stalls because of that.
Did they also change this too?
So, I count 11 slips sticking down, and I only count 10.
Not as much on G, but.
Oh, I don't have this.
That's the one from last week.
Yeah, so this substation was over here. Yeah, so now you basically put this one here and one here. Whereas you were having this substation right here.
I feel like we can just put the substation right here.
Actually, like this.
I don't mind this. This whole.
special original one.
Yeah, so I don't,
Right. But I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like
So
that.
mix this
It needs to be a
here
mix.
and share the approach with the substation, that's fine.
Yeah.
I would just split it.
And why don't they do the substation sharing the approach over here?
Split there. That's why they moved it.
I agree with you, Kenny. We didn't have any time to we got this just out of five.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree that, I would think you could use, like you're saying, just use float for the gangway, and put the substation on it.
Yeah.
Maybe a reason there, but I don't know.
You need to make it wider.
Where was?
Yeah, make it a little wider.
Yeah, right.
I
This
don't
is
know.
installed, which I don't like.
Why not make this
Yeah.
the same thing, this landing bigger, put the thing on it instead of having the,
Yeah, like,
that doesn't do us any good.
yeah, I mean, I don't really mind that, it could, but what I don't like is losing the finger floats. I mean, between this drawing and this drawing, we lost 2 finger floats that we were already paying for, and now we're talking about paying more to have 4. You know, and they didn't give us the 90 grand, or, you know, they didn't give us any money off for those fingers.
Really lost one, right?
2.
Do one of these.
The other, one thing I will say about the approaches going right to a 90 is the, fire department sometimes has trouble making turns with their little dock pumper, and they've gone into the harbor when they have to, they like that approach, to line up, so like before was, the approach came down and then kind of run out on K-flow instead of right into the timber.
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
They sank their couple days.
That was something that I feel like before Chief gets retired, we came in and talked to us about. And he said, "Here, just keep it in mind."
Keep in mind, they don't like to hit the bottom and make the
I
90.
remember that.
So, I mean, I would like to see that on G too.
Well, that float gives you plenty of room. That gangway float, that gives you plenty of room to move over to one side and make that one.
Okay.
But if it was a little bit bigger and had the substation on it, kind of like we have on for K, it might be.
Yeah, I mean, I like where they're trying to go with this on the substation move, but I feel like there needs to be a combination of the two. But I hate to keep going back and forth on this and take forever. I mean, I don't really like. Clarify what the loss is.
Or why?
We have their, I think if we have their permission, and if we could get it back to where it was, maybe one substation goes to a floating substation. We don't have to lose it, you know, but the rest of the week, put it on and off and on, floating on an island. That's where we go with it. Because again, this was turnaround, today turnaround, so there might be a reason. Yeah, I don't really like the movement of the gangway, I mean, just because we lose the floats.
Well, you had to move the gangway to put a float there, that's why it moved.
We don't really lose two because we kind of hide it now on the side of the because we only lose one.
They're gonna replace the approaches or anyways.
Drive down, right off the gangway. It looked like it moved over half the thing.
They're gonna
You have no problem.
Yeah, but if it came up and like usually, you wouldn't even have to rebuild that whole dock.
Well, I gotta be done anyways.
So could you tie to that approach dock, Tony?
I don't see why you couldn't. I mean, we can ask that question. I don't see why you couldn't.
Because that definitely
Changes, right.
my thoughts here.
It's a possibility, yeah, it might be a possibility, so it's something you can question.
I mean, I know the people on J-Flow complained last of that dock was right smack down in the middle. But
also interesting if you're looking at this new drawing, sheet G7B, that has the G-float approach for much different size than like the KJ float approach at the bottom. There's enough difference in how they're going to build the ramps that the landings can be that different.
I think it has to do with the grounding issue. Not sure though.
I missed the question, sorry.
If you look at this, the landings,
Right.
so you got a ramp coming down to a landing, which is probably going to have a track that rides up and down the time. The one for K float is nice and long. KJ float service is a rectangle, and the other one is just a short little square. Kind of wondering, are they going to be built that much differently? Or the ramp angles going to be different, or because you could tie up on the one for the JK, it looks like it's the same length as a regular slip with space in between, but when you come over to the G1 and it's like a short little thing.
Well, there's pile on both sides of that too, though, so there's no tile option. I think that's just because that's where they have to put those piles. So that's what it is.
Oh, you have to be trapped in there if anybody's in the room. So it's not such a great slip. Anyways, it's just interesting that they have drawn something that I don't think is what
And
similar.
the actual ramp is the same on the
The landing is,
the ramp has to be ADA compliant, but that's a specific ramp. They're the same. I think it has to be different, but this one on the safer side because of our big dogs.
that's what they look like.
They are the same length. Yeah, they are the same length.
And
They're
that's
all
more
the
than
same,
you're
but yeah.
doing there.
Gotcha.
So, the two questions on what we were just talking about is substations on gangway floats is a question, and the other one is, can we tie? Would that be a solve? Whether it's one or two, whatever it is, but something.
Yeah, because those piles are drawn to scale.
No, because they'd be the same width as the gangway. Giant piles.
So there should be lots of room.
Should be a lot more than it looks like, yeah.
So originally we were looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're asking for 4.
And the 40 would be more counted.
Which saves us enough money to where asking for 4 is the same thing as asking for those 2 40s.
Well, I like what they did. This is what they did. I agree with the drawing. I know we're losing one opportunity, but I like the multiple boxes are out of the way. And if they're never having to go down there and do work on them, they're going to be out of the way.
It's true.
I like it because they're not going to get hit by somebody's anchor.
Well, yeah, that was the other thing we were worried about, is that boat pulling in there and those head docks, why work, you know?
Yeah, no, that
Work is, work is, electrical work costs a lot of money.
So really, it's just the beginning of K, and we just want to understand why the movement is this in fact what we envision and why potential loss of the slip what can we do with the substation on K? Somewhere else and go back to the region. That also gives us the advantage for those hard 90s.
Maybe it's a piling system perspective issue. I mean, there's plenty of room. That could be something to check, just to make sure that there's not.
I'm sure the fire department, at least in my time, we have not discussed all emergency service access is on the ground floor, not on any other.
No, that's why we got the corners cut. You look on the drawing, you see a little corners cut out of the main uploads.
Yeah.
Coming from, that's why we got those. It's quarter cupcake or whatever they have.
Right, but. Yes.
Okay.
So if a boat's on fire, you
Right, yeah.
Does it make it more we can use four wheelers for some?
So we gotta get it over the bull rail.
I'm still okay with Cape Cook the way it is. I mean, I might be the only guy, but I'm alright with that.
okay, to make sure there's room to get the fire department's response with thing around.
On the ground longer there, that it's not so much wider.
Yeah.
And then help alleviate that problem. That's definitely the way it is, the way it's drawn out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, they be with the older one.
Yeah, I think that corner.
And if Tony makes a rule that you can't have a boat fire unless it's high water,
And it's out of the harbor.
and I like it because when you move that box, you allow another 32 foot boat to be on that slip. So because before the thing was over on the corner there, that, you know, it would have been difficult to get the outrigger in there on that additional slope that we asked for. I think it's too weird.
Okay, so we'll be back to, we're good with this as long as the fire department can access whatever they need. There's then enough room for us to get our top parts. Is everybody, any more discussion, or should we move on to the ADA slips? We kind of took care of the ends and these inners all in this. No more discussion? Okay.
I think as long as Tony can check that we can tie up to that approach dock, then we're really not losing, we're only losing one stall. Actually, we're not even losing a stall, we're losing one potential stall.
Right, so we have to buy it.
But if we can't tie up there, then we are losing a stall. So,
That is a question.
is there a reason why on I/N optional finger edition that it's straight instead of canted like the other ones? Like this drawing showed it canted, is because of the difference between pile supported and non-pile supported. Does it have to be a straight dock, or can it also be canted, or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure we really need
it though. I mean, it's the same as all the rest of the 32s, right?
Well, one on the iFloat is not the same. And you're saying the one on the iFloat is can't.
Well, maybe not.
Right.
I'm just wondering.
That's your question.
It's just a question.
Right. Yeah.
I guess if you can't do it, then it would actually open up that corner even a little bit more.
That's what kind of what I was
I'm guessing it's, because it's not supported, but yeah.
Is there any advantage to not canting it? Except for the picture we found that way?
That's about just the
I mean,
That's
yeah, put it up.
But if it's not canceled, you're saying you're gonna have about this entire thing, you're gonna have more room. You're gonna have something different than that.
Yeah, there would definitely be more room between those.
I would do it out straight.
I agree with that.
Utilizing that more.
Better utilization straight since it's smaller.
It does make more space for that.
Yeah,
dinner or whatever.
rather than something that has
And it makes I can't, I can't believe that it isn't easier to put an unsupported filing straight for those guys than it is to have an extra piece in there that's angled to have to be fabricated to make that angle work. I think they're probably like, in however it is.
Right.
Yeah. They're making a bunch of straights.
So, yeah, go get make this one.
It's the only one.
Right. Yeah.
And it's unsupported, so. Odd.
Well, it shrinks the inside up and makes the
Right.
outside bigger roomier. But, I mean, it's for a top kicker, so.
Yeah, we'll throw everything off from the air.
Fine with me. You can blame me.
I'll look when I find it.
I'm good with this leaving it as drawn. I can see both sides nicely.
Yeah, I don't see it as an issue, but I understand on both sides, like Randy's saying, it does leave more room for that sand or whatever.
Advantage one way or advantage the other way.
Yeah, there's advantage on both sides.
So getting around it. As long as we don't have somebody.
Cool. Right.
Okay, do we want to even pose that question to him, or how do you feel about that? Are you good with
I was
that?
just, yeah, I think
It's
that's,
good to bring it up.
Okay.
it was just on my notes.
Yeah.
I don't really care anyway. It's notes, it's something.
Well, you know, sometimes it's hard when you're on the phone to chime in. Tom, you got anything on this before we move on to the ADA stuff? You got anything to add on to the discussion of the pilings and upgrades and the additional slips?
No, I'm definitely driving the filing upgrades, and I agree with what you said. It's a little bit more difficult to track I'll trust you guys that you can, thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot. Track them on the phone. Okay, so we'll move to the ADA slips. And it looks like we've got a drawing with the blue dots, or ovals, and the square rectangles.
Arrows.
Oh, those are arrows.
That's just a removable.
Yeah, it's a 60-inch piece of bolt rail that's bolted in place for it to move.
I mean, it's not really that big.
So we've got one down for the trail.
Oh, for the cars? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's good for use. We got two on that.
This is an old drawing.
It is, it's an old drawing, it's not like I can make work with paint.
I would like to see us switch the one next to Fisher Memorial, instead of being on the east side to being on the west side of it. No, I'm serious, because we're talking, yeah, because we're talking about putting in a food truck pedestal on the loading dock and running an extension cord or whatever over, you know.
Oh, so the food truck isn't in the ADA.
Right, I feel like that, where you have that 88 arrow, maybe turn that into like a green arrow for food truck and then a blue arrow on the other side for 88.
The west side of the Fisher Memorial is maybe a spot.
That's what I was thinking.
And then have several spots.
I like having the one next to the launch ramp. I like having the one next to the grid.
Next to G, that makes sense. Two on the other side, one at the end. Yeah, that's the one that I
Actually, I almost wonder if the one that's on the grid should go over to the east side of the staging dock, with the new staging dock. So there's one on each side of that staging dock.
Actually makes a little more sense, not like you're gonna be climbing down the ladder.
Yeah, I don't think the EA person's gonna be using the grid.
No, EA isn't just physical.
That's true.
But it's not a big deal because that grid will be connected by the vessel. So they could walk that.
And that's always reserved for grid parking anyway, it's always empty, so we're gonna get there, so.
Not a big deal.
But yeah, just moving that one over to the other side of the Fisherman's Memorial, and I would like to see us delineate a spot for a food truck lease or something.
Right.
On the
East side of the Fisherman's Memorial.
Well, then we lose parking.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
We only lose one spot because
Food truck doesn't just fit on stall. Because you have to have the windows and buy stuff out the back.
Well, he's saying that would go into the Fisherman's Memorial.
Oh, like, use that.
yeah,
Back
you
in
got
one
that
side.
non-parking spot in front of the Fisherman's Memorial. If you pull a truck in, all those food trucks have the windows on the left side. It's on the driver's side of the trucks. So if you pull it in, you're gonna have your selling window facing the non-parking area that's already there, so we're not losing anything to the non-parking spot.
Yeah, either way, you don't,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. But I do,
Put it down, and then you realize traffic pattern, the use change,
Right.
you just change signage, there's no, this isn't legally binding, you just have the right number of spots, not where.
but I guess, because we're talking about having them put in a pedestal somewhere. And so I just feel like we already have a big no parking area back in front of that Fisherman Memorial like it used to be.
you know, the next spot, we just brainstorming about food trucks, the next spot that could work would be the ramp opening, or the, hybrid parking opening. I don't know, is there anything they're required to capture?
Yeah.
Capture all their effluent and everything, so, I mean, anyways, that's another spot. I don't know what's going on, but like, if we can just move those things around with the forklift, then you could actually change them when somebody wanted to do something. You'd be like, oh, okay, we decided that's it. Move it over, make it off. It's just a sign, oh, I thought it was a bull rail that was in the, I thought that was
That's
just.
just slips.
Yeah.
There's nothing
All
for
of this.
parking spot.
You could do that, but yeah.
I thought you were talking about, I
So
mean,
there's no K barrier or Jersey barrier or anything like that.
I don't think I still have an issue with being a Fisherman's Memorial at all, but. It's not a place for food truck, in my opinion, the memorial. Worry about the mess and the trash and, you know. I feel the same way about the.
I mean, it was identified in the conference.
I'm not saying that, I'm just telling
At
you,
the-
that's my opinion on it.
isn't there tables there?
There is,
Benches.
That's just-
I see people eat there all the time.
yeah, we got a lot more, we've got a food truck there, and
Right. And what's
That's what we put.
the memorial.
the balance for community use memorial and then?
I don't think they're dishonest or anything, but that's a nice place to sit.
That's what it's for.
Actually, the square inside. I wouldn't mind.
I have a relative, a couple of relatives up there, and I would, it doesn't bother me that the people would go there to eat.
You know, was that issue with people, if there was people offended, at the, grid opening. But it is nice to have an opening, you're not taking up,
The reason why I kept talking about that spot with the Fisherman's Memorial is because it was a spot that was identified during the comprehensive plan meetings where the entire community was involved. So,
So I think it's an alright spot, it's got a place to eat, and it's got, and I mean, everybody knows people that are on those blocks. Maybe not some of the younger people, but I go down there and I know all those people. I've eaten there before.
There's picnic tables there that the city puts there. So
I'm okay with that, but I don't think we really have to change anything at this meeting except for, have an electrical service, right?
well, I think they already said that they could do that. We just need to.
Yeah.
I just want
That's
to.
not an issue.
I mean, the parking of the food truck, this space is gonna be there.
Well, yeah, just the only
But
thing
we
that
can
can
move
change
the
is,
signs, yeah.
you know,
We can move the
make sure
signs.
to market for such, and then the EDA one goes on the other side. That way, 88 can move it whatever they want.
Yeah, we can move those though, you know what I mean? I mean, I can see this working, whether we talk about it tonight or not, as long as that electrical service is there, we can come up with a good plan,
Right.
summertime plan.
We have electrical service available on the grid already? So that's.
No, it's not.
Nobody uses it?
No, I'm saying, as long as no one uses it, then.
You know, I
So
guess
is
that's
that
another thing.
grid parking only though over there?
Right, but if food truck had taken us.
Yeah,
next
that's
to it, and have that opening for people to walk up and get their stuff, you wouldn't be using an extra. And if somebody needed to drive down.
I guess, so, you brought up a good point earlier is with the food truck thing. And the fluid. How hard would it be for them to add I mean, probably pretty expensive if they had a sewage pipe in there too.
We got time to go through and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works with planning.
No. So that could be an issue for food truck operators.
Oh, there you go. I mean,
They can
Coffee shop.
They can
Yeah.
dump behind the
Right.
harbor master's
Right.
office of that.
we have the RV down there.
I mean-
Blackwater.
At the harbor.
Not at it.
Are you telling me it's
But not back, we have the RV down, and that's the other thing.
It's already
Yeah.
there, so it's convenient. And it also prevents them from getting too entrenched into the spot if they have to move it once in a while.
I mean, they want to pay you for the thing.
I kind of missed the start of that. Why would they need sewage?
Not sewage, just
Gray water.
effluent, like
Gray water.
sinks and stuff like that could go down and, you know.
Men must have to do that too, right?
No, they've got a sewer pipe.
Well, yeah, there's a building there. The pretty water bill. Yeah. It's not big on the road, but it's in the middle.
Okay, so, let me just see if I sum it up correctly. The 88, did anybody have anything on the slips?
I think the only change we had is we moved that H one in. Now, right, Tom? We're gonna move that one to the red dot.
Just went to that dock.
Yeah, I can't remember what comes out.
Well, we had them all at the head dock, and then we discussed.
We moved like G, one on G, we put one for a transit, we put one up there just in case.
Because it was in the way with the drive down floor. We had to get it off of G, get it away from the drive down floor.
Yeah, it's just removing a section. If you have
Yeah, but-
Right,
to.
just having the
Never
section.
remove them in 4 years.
Right, yeah. It's just sections that can be.
Right.
Exactly.
I would like to know that answer on the, J and K approach dock, whether it's a tie-up spot or not, because I feel like in our new drawing, in drawing 6-7B, I mean, it's not on this one, but having them on each side of that approach dock might be the best spot for me.
Well, yeah.
Right. If
I wrote that down.
we can tie up there, let's put them there, that's a good idea.
It's certainly long enough.
It looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wrote down as a question for them, if that's wide enough there, there's enough room, or doesn't cause any heartaches, and
Well, it says 30 foot, that's 12-foot boats.
wide.
And I guess, maybe the ADA stalls, is that gonna displace any of the current stall holders?
Everything I read is that that stall is held by the holder, the leasee, whatever you wanna call it, until it expires. And then that ADA person gets to jump in, which ours don't technically expire unless you don't pay your bill.
There's two sides though.
So basically, we'll get.
So right now, we have Fred Dewar that has the entire dock, and that's his dock right there. And the other side is now gonna have a place for a Valkyrie to park, and you can make that the ADA. This is,
Oh, it's not gonna be.
What's that?
Oh my God, you think the guy.
Come in and run.
they don't tie on the other side, but they tie it flat.
I don't see it as an issue because if I have to move one of those.
You just said if the guy's stall expires, you have to move, you put ADA stall. If you let somebody rent that stall, you might not leave the guy on the stall.
No. Yes. That's what I'm saying, your stall technically expires.
You have a regular stall.
Right.
Then eventually you need an ADA stall, and then it expired, you expired.
It's all like that. It's all, let's say after ADA guy. You don't have any.
You can ask, you know.
You're not gonna have any.
You don't have a guy that qualifies for ADA.
Yeah, we don't have to follow the ADA people.
But, yeah.
We just have to have them in there.
Be available.
It has to be an option.
I think you gotta go to the back.
Now, how much? Tony says, okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
If that stall becomes good.
Okay, I'm one of them all.
They don't necessarily have to kick somebody out.
They don't,
As
as soon as
it's
somebody
open,
comes,
then they're the ones that have to.
they're eligible to get it.
That's what.
Why would you
So
do
not
that?
they can let them line through. I mean, if every stall is rented, and ADA guy shows up.
You're not gonna kick anybody.
But if you have an ADA stall come available,
He's for, even if he's on the bottom of the list.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, if you have somebody show up that doesn't have a stall, we have the whole area of transient marked off for this. That we can put them in.
But yeah, that stall doesn't stay open for the next 20 years because we don't have an ADA.
That's what I'm.
And in the short term, we do now have one on G that could be a transient ADA stall.
Yeah, we looked at trying to put them out further, even if it was just two stalls, because whoever mentioned that.
You're just trying to get that point.
Yeah, you could have 60 inches wide. Maybe 60 inches, there's no pictures now.
Or is it still all of it?
We'll have a tour.
3 cleats instead of 2, or is it 2 cleats?
Please where? On which dock? They on board?
The front one. Like we do now.
And no,
Yeah, no sidewalk.
You guys get a
no cleats, or just jumping?
No, it's jumping.
Cleats?
Yeah, I mean. People know how to tie this one up.
3 cleats would be nice.
Well, there's.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I have to build
I
it. Dock.
think it's nice, yeah.
Or put a loop where that joint is.
So there won't be a train anymore.
I guess you could put a belly strap all the way around that.
How we normally do it is we tie the opposable cleats anywhere.
Across the dock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
the carts
goes
across
my
my-
flow.
really does not like that name. It's, he really does not, even in the back of the dock, you can't get to. I go.
There's no reason it's gonna bother him back there.
Well, the back one's for sure, the front one I go straight down. I have my line moved over my own.
Oh, yeah. I'm lucky that I got it next to me.
Well, I mean, like, the next year I got that small, it's like 1950 or something. I don't know, whatever we can see on that.
Well, the bow one is.
No.
They get it from your line every time.
Are slips wider, fit by staircase?
Both sides get out.
Okay, so, let's just finish this ADA, discussion. We're all good with moving the one next to the, we like the one next to the lunch ramp. We're gonna move the one next to the grid over to the, adjacent to the
Each side of the.
queuing area, right? And you got another one on the other side of the queuing area. You got move the Fishman's Memorial one to the east side. So that, west. Sorry, to the west side. It's on the east side. Move it to the west side. It'll free up the access to that electrical connection or those. And then the other three we're good with. There are no other things except for on K approach. If we're gonna go in the middle, then we make it on each side of the transfer dock.
Yeah.
That's
The gateway.
If we can't, but we'll
Yeah.
for what.
Not really that. Okay, now we're at what? Harvesters would also like to see a footage of the location of electrical substations like foot. Oh, we did that. We got that. We're all good with the drive down flow, current rotated design, nothing new to add there. Freeboard height 36 inches.
About that last meeting, sorry.
We did ask last meeting about any concessions as far as doing one part first where we could ship boats over. Did they have any thought on that?
As far as,
They don't wanna commit to it because.
they can't commit to it, and it's, because the pulling is gonna be relatively quick. Pulling piles and destabilizing the whole harbor.
Oh, yeah.
Putting them back in, they're like, yeah, there's possibilities, but we can't do it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna pull all.
No, we commit to it because.
well, they did a fixed price on it.
Right. And it's just, it's mold and demold, hammers and vibrates and all that, so I mean, just.
But G float is in and cleared for, maybe we would get a little bit of,
Yeah, they said, hey, you know what, we
we
got
got
both
both sides
sides.
if you want. You're not gonna have any electric.
Yeah, we're not gonna have electric. And we're moving it from any.
But they're gonna pull all the pilings at the same time.
We'll fund it.
Amazing machines.
Yeah.
A bunch of helicopters.
Exactly.
When's the electric sleeve?
June. Yeah, all the punch list is utilities.
Like you're not out on the dock.
Well, I just, so they think the punch list in utilities would be, I think it was June 15th, was done. They're done, they're signing off, everything's done, we've done the inspection, everything. Maybe sooner they put electrical and water and
That's
everything.
fine, I mean, we should be fishing.
Yeah, but-
They don't even look like that.
Asking a lot, man.
April 15th, docks will be done and ready.
Hopefully to be on its out.
All right, so, we've covered what we have prepared here, except we have this other interesting handout here.
Islands, that's really,
I have no idea.
that's not place for, that's the environmental stuff that got included.
We go to like charts and stuff like that.
If you were serious, we should ignore this.
And it's not even accurate anymore if we go to upsize those files, like H and J. So, because we don't have 24 files in there, just temporary 24.
What is this one? That is one Kim Nielsen, whatever, person with a Arnhem. That was just a quick one with her ideas on it. It was before we got this new one.
Oh, the transfer, the pink one?
Yeah, it was before I had the updated drawing, so I threw it back.
The pink was.
Transfers, yeah. Which is, ideas came out.
All over transparent.
So we're gonna have another special meeting to approve this council.
These recommendations go to council, right?
Yeah, I mean, consensus that we're good or whatever.
I think the design issues, I don't think we need more. I think we have to go on and make those changes and make clarifications, and probably trade emails to figure that stuff out, especially as it relates to. Okay, but funding part is gonna be,
I feel like I would feel more comfortable having us like get a final picture at a special meeting, and just make a recommendation that this is what the harbor commission wants, so that council has a recommendation from his body when they're approving this design.
That's easy enough. I mean, when we have the final from them and the 35 and everything, just react.
Yeah. So do you want to have another meeting? They just gonna email us drawings and we'll chime in.
I thought when we were talking to
I'm gonna do that.
agree.
Be like 1 o'clock meetings when we're out.
Well, so we could be done, we could just, them just signing off on the resolution.
Yeah, I feel like we should have another special meeting with the resolution of support council when they get their final.
First, second week. I want to be here.
In February.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, as soon as we get it done, better.
February.
I don't want people.
The city council, I mean.
should probably be soon. Everybody wants to be soon.
Maybe we should do it next week.
You guys have fun?
You're not here, do you get?
I'm gone until the 27th. I come in the fair on the 27th. No. I thought you said you were going in February.
Oh.
But when is council gonna approve this?
When roll day?
When, do you know when they'll bring it up?
Or they could bring that as early next week. Right?
Yeah, good, yeah. But I mean,
If there's drawings and approval or recommendation, they could do as early as next week.
but this is gonna have to be, the extra money is gonna have to be signed off.
That's,
Will that take 2 weeks?
Should,
no.
Was there any savings from the, you said there was some potential savings or some money left over from the R&M work?
No. Finance. Or low, tier 1 loan finance.
Oh, so the interest stage of that?
Not interest, it's like
They charge
origination fee, for lack of a better term, yeah. Start that loan.
I don't see an issue with money as long as we're not talking $2 million, we're talking, one, whatever.
174.
Yeah, we spent more on a garbage truck.
Well, I mean,
A lot more than that.
a lot of still, cost us some money.
We had to spend it.
I think 170 is good to sell.
Well, we do have,
You know, it's a permanent thing here, so you can build it right first, the first time. And
it's not money that's gonna come to council.
It's not money that's gonna come.
No, well, we're looking at, trying to, we just got the financing plan back, they've been out for a while, but getting everything together, we have the raw fish tax money, and we have the wolfish money, so.
Oh, okay, so we're deciding to spend our money, so.
But
Not
we just gotta get approval, that's gonna be, council gotta approve that extra money on top of what the all council.
Right.
So, here's one, we pay that grant off too, but it's not
Let's
very-
pay for the
We
project.
should do it for 3 years.
It's gotta be almost $1 million now.
Oh, that's all right. And then rule of wolfish. Which has been, is.
When I talked to Helen, she says we can't touch that money, that's just for payments. So we can touch that money.
Yeah.
The taxes for the payments, we haven't incurred the payments yet. Do that, and then we have more money coming in.
Yeah, so it would be nice if we had it laying around in case we have a bad season, but, yeah. We gotta take 160, 70, whatever up.
You know, we don't even want to use all of it.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Anyway, everything is good, or we move on to next meeting agenda items, comments?
So,
Yeah.
so I did talk to Tony before this meeting, just asked him why the stuff you had on the Indian agenda wasn't on there. He's right, we just need to get this sorted out.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to put that old science center building on the, at our next meeting was because these guys are yanking piles out. And we can either pay somebody to come here and do it, or pay them maybe to do it if we have additional funding available while they're here yanking the harbor up. You know?
Be a lot of equipment here. It doesn't have to be moved and demoved.
Right, otherwise we're gonna pay somebody to do that if we decide to do it. And it's up to council, you know, it's not up to us what they're gonna do with that. But I'm assuming council's on the same page as they were when I was on there, which is get rid of the thing, and get rid out, straighten up the Forest Service, whatever we gotta do with the Forest Service dock, and have access to all that area. First time since 1964. So, it'd be great, you know.
That was the
That's
only
why I'm
thing
bringing
we
it up.
voted on last meeting.
Oh.
That was the only thing you were.
Everything we talked about.
we vote, we got all there.
They were all.
I can do it.
So I'd like that on the next meeting.
I just concur with, Commission member Gleason that, yeah, we should bring that up in the things in February, the next regular meeting. And, I'm on the same page. It's gonna be a supplemental contract to this harbor project, but while they have the equipment here, we should ask them to take that part. If we have the funding. If we have the funding.
Not we.
If council has the funding.
The harbor will benefit from that.
It's part of our master plan.
When removed.
Yeah. We're gonna have the equipment here to
dredge.
If it works out to do most we should at least do it.
As far as I know, Shoreside said they were gonna pay for their harbor install, which includes hopefully sucking mud out of there. Why not?
No, I understand.
You know what?
So they pay for
If we have the science center gone and there's a definable thing there, it might be another conversation about what, moving forward, what they want to do.
We're providing them with a location to put tanks, we've got this, that salty steer lot, that portion, they can access that with vehicles, they can put fuel tanks there, whatever they need to do to supply that dock with fuel, they can pump some mud. I mean, it's their fuel dock, they should have to pay for that entirely, that area that they're using. In my opinion, that's a conversation for
Right,
February.
I was gonna say, Doc,
That was talked about.
a bunch of stuff we talked about, yeah, let's tear it, let's.
Well, I thought they were sheet piling and making space for better parking and possibly Darkness operating is not.
There is a plan.
I think that
Didn't get funded.
use it by,
Yeah.
and 60 North also for taking fish instead of hogging our spot. And there, anyway, February conversation. Get me started.
The other thing I think we should keep on there is what can we do in that space in the short term to help alleviate the crunch when we're trying to squeeze everybody?
Before it's pulled apart,
Before it's pulled apart, and yeah, like in the short term, is what can we do over there to try to keep idea of maybe a float that we're not using or something, but it will depend on where you put it. But there is room over there that may or may not help. I think we should talk about maximizing our in-water space. I think it's going to be, even putting everybody we can on the beach. But we're going to be asking a lot of people to leave.
There's the signs that are not past that grid.
we can have that conversation on. Maybe get some pictures of low tide or something. I took some pictures of it a long time ago just so you can see how the dock interfered with an approach if you have that area open. And, just so you can know, we take some pictures and see what's up there.
Yeah.
Like at the very end where you can look over the edge in front of the thing. You probably strap something to that,
You might have to get creative. The problem is if it's the city doing it, can you do it scoop enough so that you're not liable?
Well, and you gotta have access to get down to it.
Not necessarily. I mean,
Tie your boat up there, I guess. They just leave it there.
we have boats that we could tie up there and leave there, and go over and check on with another boat if they need to be checked on. But we're going to be looking for options. And there's going to be people that are pinned so that they can't leave if they wanted to. That's going to be it's going to be tight. It's going to be a big job trying to. And there's not going to be enough room for everybody. I don't think on the harbor and in that harbor. And people are making good plans. And there is that big issue. But we're not going to have enough room for everybody that wants to be here and lives here. And it's a huge imposition to check on your boat and probably use it, check on your boat. Figure out how to help relieve that congestion. Every couple slips will help.
Okay.
So anything else for that next meeting, February's meeting? We're going to solve all the problems.
Horse and stock location.
Yeah, I mean, that could be part of
like
a temporary and permanent solution.
I just feel like when we start talking about the side center thing, it's just going to be a natural segue that I'm going to probably want to make, so we should get it on the agenda and notice the public.
So they own that slip, correct?
They own the dock.
They own the dock, not where it is.
They don't own.
They don't own
where
the
the
dock,
islands
they own
are.
the structure.
They own the building.
They own the structure on top of the dock and the float.
Yeah.
They own and the gangway.
I think that's a good conversation to have.
Another thing to add to that, it's right in that area at all times.
And I would like to see us, after that discussion,
No, we're not in a negative fashion at all.
make a recommendation. Anything we discuss here is just going to be a recommendation.
No, we're not.
So ultimately, whatever comes from this discussion is February. Whether we do it at the February meeting or March, I would like to see us, as far as future agenda items, have an agenda item for making a recommendation on how to proceed with that corner.
It'll be a fun one to dredge with metal and the old boats, barge there. 100 years of garbage piled in there.
That's not even our contamination.
One thing that I would like to maybe see staff, if they could ask, maybe this is something for after our meeting in February, but it's a question I'm gonna have in February. You know, obviously we don't wanna distract their equipment, when they're demobbing or, you know, when they're deconstructing the harbor. I guess I just don't know how it's gonna work. Are they gonna bring in demolition crew, demolish our existing harbor, and then the demolition crew leaves and a new crew comes in with different equipment? It's all the same guys, all the same barge, so.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
they
bring their own equipment.
So that's the question I would have is if we are able to locate a funding source to tear down the science center, is it something that after they're done with this harbor, they could just move over there in June and tear it down? You know, that's just a question I would have. I don't know if that needs to be after our February discussion or if it needs to be maybe something to inform that discussion. So.
Possible for this.
Because obviously they're going to be crunched enough just trying to get those floats back together. But if it's somewhere they can just, okay, if I don't want floats, they can go over and tear that thing down.
Only depends on what their next job is.
Right.
They have like 3 others.
It's not
They have like 3 others right now. Valdez, Whittier, and Haynes.
So all in the winter?
Demo usually goes quick though. I mean, that's like the quickest part of the construction job. But you still have to throw it away.
Well, and it might
So
be
that's difficult.
where we have
That's
some
probably the
local
expensive.
contractors who can do the down and down.
You gotta get those pilings pulled out.
We've
though.
already bid it as a complete job, right? So I would say that.
No, we haven't done anything.
Oh, you're talking for there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a big discussion that needs to happen.
Yeah. I was just thinking stuff that might inform that.
No, I think that's a good point. I think that because if we're going to ask them to do something, we better let them know, and they'll give us an answer. You know, they can give us, but they're going to want to see. We need to give them some photographs of what we want demolished and the grid. And
Well, I feel like ultimately councils, we just have to make a recommendation to council that, hey, while they're in town, we recommend you get this demolished.
Yeah, well, if you do the work,
it's
if
going to
you
be
do the work,
cheaper to do that.
and
There's either, you're talking the whole dock, all the way to the road.
Well, Tony wants to stay with the planks.
we haven't,
Which
we
is good.
haven't figured out what exactly we're doing, but that's a possibility.
Gone. There's just going to be a Godzilla
Whether it's
spot there.
this company or another company, they're planning and having an emergency, then just make it.
All the way out to the building, put in for rainwater. You know,
Yep, and be prepped for if we are able to do.
But you won't be
Wow.
installing pilings or anything.
No.
Don't know where the area, I know the area that went through. Sorry.
We've heard full of it.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, you can.
It's in a good.
That'll give all the pieces for the old grid.
All right, so
I guess for the February discussion, one thing I guess I would request, maybe Tony, you could, maybe you have this information of old grid usage over the past.
I used to go right away.
There's a few, but not many.
It would just be, I think it would inform our discussion if we have just like type of like, this is how many
People
transactions.
use it, every time I go down, make an appointment to do it, somebody comes and sneaks in a half hour before I'm watered.
well, it'll still be available until they tear it down. It's not like it's leaving tomorrow.
It's getting so, things are so worn in from the field.
It's
Garbage.
I
It
agree.
would be awesome if we could put the top on it, but it may be right now.
I feel like it takes away business from our travel.
You know, like some people just aren't rich.
And rest. Where we
Okay,
at?
do we have any other Comments or next meeting agenda items?
Yeah. I mean,
Next.
Did we have anything new on that? On the,
Because we're trying to sort through tier 1 and 2 servers. We just understand what exactly is lost. Those tier 1s were covered. We know we're covered.
We'll get tier 1.
Tier 2 is a wrench in the works. We just want to fully understand. We'll know before the next meeting in February.
Tier 2 can be full.
Yeah, they will be launched before the water.
Right. But Wilson's can launch in about an hour.
oh, we're talking
Right.
about.
So, yeah, we're talking today. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is a,
Yeah. Top pictures? Yeah. Although Kelsey says not supposed to be on water.
Tier 2 can be on water. They don't have to even check in.
What?
very good.
Tier 2, you have to check in, but.
They get
Yeah.
So you can be out of the water.
But the Sainers,
A lot of water up there.
Yeah.
If you ever drink that, you know, water.
but Sainers is on the story. Yeah, correct.
Gotcha.
Nobody has no water coming in.
Yes.
And Kelsey, we had a meeting with Kelsey, she's still looking into it, because she does know at least a couple people that said they're gonna go somewhere else anyways, to do major work, winter layup, whatever. So, we're still waiting, she's supposed to get back with some numbers, but 20 other folks.
In addition to the 12.
Yeah.
From the south.
Yeah. So was there anything new on the parking? We were gonna have them pay for the pole and not pay for the parking unless they wanted to be in the heavy service or the. like,
We're gonna
service.
fill that post on
It's gonna be full.
If they plug in, they plug in. We
Plug
charge
in
it.
and plug in, okay.
Yeah, what is the fee for storage? Like, if you're on a trailer boat, there's no charge, we'll find a place for you on city property. But the deeper draft, non-trailerable, what do we charge? Are we charging, and my perspective is just, people communicate out to the folks. What do we charge? We charge for lift, we charge for storage, we charge for everything, we discounted, what, really just awareness and buying.
I heard they were charging for lift, we're not charging for storage.
That's what I thought we
As
said.
long as
If
they
you're a
pay
slip
for
holder,
their slip.
Yeah, you're paid out.
You're paid out for this slip
Yeah,
holder.
We're not paying at all.
Right.
That was the
Yeah,
only
but
thing.
you have a slip,
Because we hold it,
Free storage online.
We're not going to.
you gotta pay for it.
You don't want to pay your stall, well, then don't pay your stall. You go wherever it's not those.
And you pay for parking.
Okay. We're not, we're not, stall's gotta be paid out. And the list gotta be paid before we put you in the water.
Oh, yeah.
That was what I heard was, because I thought it was
That's how I
cheaper, and we said, all out, we charge, storage, we don't. Use electrical at the pedestals, we charge for electrical.
That makes sense.
Storage for the services cost.
So that's the only change, we had talked about charging with the.
But we're gonna stop you from overtime.
Okay.
This is what it is.
I do feel like we need to have a conversation about that electrical slip thing in about 2 years when this project's over. I want to see us make a change there.
More electrical and.
I think if you're parked in the electrical spot, you get charged whether you plug it or not.
I agree, unless we stick you there because we have nothing else, or, I mean, somehow we gotta look, but I agree.
Because it's BS
But
right now,
the late day,
there's
right?
nobody's working on their boat. I can't even haul my boat out and work on it if I want electrical right now. Because everybody's full and everybody's in Hawaii or Mexico. And they're not actually getting their projects. They're not incentivized. Well, no, I'm going to Mexico.
I know.
So I'm working on it. But, you know, it's like when I put my boat there, I get my crap done and I get out. And there's a lot of people that don't do that. They just fill out the whole thing and nobody can get to it.
Or some system like that.
Late day rate, there, once you get there, you're over so many days, you start to run out.
Yeah, sure. Maybe. It's just a conversation I want to have in 2 years when the project's done.
We have one meeting for more pedestals. No, we never got, we talked about.
We talked about it, I tried to get a bid from somebody, maybe when the electrician is here doing this project, and give us a real bid and say, this is what it would cost for pedestals installed, so we'd have to trench over to another, if we want to do it in another area, kind of like what it was. Put up a little bit too. And increase maybe those pedestals, but, I don't know what we can do. I didn't try it out.
You see any money floating around for climate resiliency or anything like that? Add a couple feet to that fill. When you look at those big tides, it's like, damn, we're right there. You know?
That was, water actually up there.
Yeah, it was coming towards
With
it.
that surge.
That north one gets ripping, it's kind of way down the road.
Yeah, it's already demoed that new asphalt a little bit, so.
I would have to do five, whatever the word was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's some, it might fit some need, but yeah, it'd be nice. And then a little bit different. What if we've got some sort of substrate there? Is it not locked enough? It almost seems to liquefy. Or it's yeah, it's on mud underneath, but
You know,
I'm just ready to go up.
This rock about 6 feet down. Not that, I don't know. Just trenched over for the rest of them. It's down 5, 6 feet. All rock.
you know, if we filled in that mud flat,
I agree.
wouldn't be a problem anymore. One way could go.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, or expanded the travel up area, which we
So if you raise that lead going, if you raise that lot, then you gotta travel it, and it's below the level.
they did pick up. Pick up. Okay, I don't have anything else. Anybody's got anything else?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
Okay, now we're adjourned.
Hold on. I'm ready to get the recorder off.
I was gonna say that.
Thanks, Tommy.
Is, I heard Louise Meyer moved to stay on the house there. She's still on the city council. How does that work?
I brought it up to the mayor.
Do you have to have?
It seems like you should have to be a resident of Cordova.
So, she is still in.
She was 30
Oh.
days or so.
She has a house here?
No, she was with parents right here. And her permanent residence is at her parents' house. Her vote, it goes off voter right. How you're registered to vote is what the city cares
Well, I would like to be represented by somebody.
about. I would implore you to come to the city council meeting.
I will. I'll make a comment.
Because I've said it.
Thank you, Paul.
No problem.
You always answer our questions good. Appreciate
But
that.
it's not just, you know, it's nothing against Lena and Burton did it. I mean, guys did it. It's been like, it's something that, I think around my years, at least James, we waited until after the
Mom's doing it too, somebody. I mean, that house here, but.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Tom's done all winter. The only difference is he owns property.
Right.
But another year, she'll be turned down.
you're on the paper, but it's all, they're all not.
Tony, you're not leaving till Monday?
Monday morning.
Okay, cool.
Do we have a new, letter going out to slip holders?
Will be, yeah.
That's kind of the next level of ratchet up. Hey, what's your plan? What's your... Right, well, that's what I was wondering, it would be, I mean, there's a certain amount of people that aren't going to talk to ever, answer emails, do anything, and it'll be a nice ammo when I come to like, oh, what the fuck is it?
Right, but
We're gonna be on this list, we need to do this,
We're gonna come up with a deadline at some point. sometimes that.
Yeah, I think that there's,
Well, just call them.
able to give you more answers, it's less of a like, just how you want me to more like, oh, that's what it decided, you have the ability. But you could say, return your form.
Yeah, you didn't get it. I got photographed it from the Harbor Association.
So that we say, as we prioritize, we're collecting information. Doesn't mean you're.
But you're asking more.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I'd like to see it over your shoulder.
Right there. Oh, you already got it.
No,
That's right.
I needed that coming on the decision.
I'll be busy.
There's, some way to get some piece, something we're taking apart, get it over,
Right.
at least be more of a cheap load transient, like,
Yeah. They stop that way.
That was nice, only in the summer. Winter time, when they got any kind of seeds, they're only good for like.
right.
Yeah.
What can we do, like, keep it honest?
Yeah, I like leaving at the 5 a.m.
What can we do to,
I get a couple hours before breakfast or something.
incentivize that? Because I agree.
Yeah, 12 hour one.
I think that, we need to fully utilize this.
We're woken up, just like being on the boat again, just you have one of the values and the heart of the community.
We have the ability to.
Right, yeah.
Cool, all right, yeah.
Well, go to, reassign.
Could reassign people.
Yeah.
I don't agree with.
Secondary, temporary.
Yeah, we'll ask them. Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah,
I think we're gonna.
But, yeah, I'm not a
but we'll say.
Robert's Rules expert.
No, neither.
All right, we go. See ya.
All right, thank you.
Folks,
Our response requirements, serves, whatever different response requirements.
Has Kelsey mentioned how much like people make? How big of money they're gonna make?
They don't need to be in water.
Just saying. Yeah.
Right, because of the 24 hours.
So like, to me, it's saying it's not making much money, it's
Right. Well, and then it's another thing. Right. Skippers on tier 2 with, but tier 1 with Shadow, which does all the non-tank. That's, so if you got a tanker and you have a and then